Don't you want somebody to love? Nobody to love. What's good, y'all? I'm Lonnie Appleton. I'm a healthy family advocate. I advocate for the health and viability of families. Whatever that looks like. I come in, disrupt your false reality. Say, yo, happiness and fulfillment in this lifetime is possible, but you're probably going to have to sort your whole existence out. Because we are taught to live lives from day one. From day one, our parents dress us up into the outfits, into the characters that they want us to be. So from the moment our parents find out they're pregnant, they start teaching us to mask. They start teaching us that this is the identity that I want you to have. Because they start buying us clothes before we're even on this earth. They start buying our costumes before we're even on this earth. So we are taught to mask the moment we touch ground and they put us in our first baby outfit. So as we begin to wake up to our reality and who we are and what we are in this lifetime and what truly brings us happiness and joy, we begin to wake up to the falsalities of the realities that we've created. And a lot of us aren't willing to do that. A lot of us are willing to sacrifice our happiness because honestly, happiness is easy to sacrifice because how many of us have actually experienced happiness? Like for real, put your hand in the air if you have truly experienced happiness in your life. I have. So because I've experienced happiness in my lifetime, it's easier for me to continue in life to seek happiness because I know it's possible. The problem is the majority of us feign happiness. We don't know it's real. We don't believe it's real. And we don't know anyone around us who's real because everyone is faking. There's a couple of people out here who are truly happy. And if you do not have yourself in check, those are the people that you're jealous of. If you're jealous of people who have superficial things, then you're craving the wrong type of things anyway. But if you find yourself jealous of people who genuinely have nothing, but they still have joy, those are the people who have happiness. Those are the people you should not be jealous of. Those are the people that you should be studying. Those are the people you should be asking questions. And people who have elevated to the point of experiencing happiness, those are the people who will willfully give you information. So if you're trying to get information from someone who is feigning happiness, simply ask them, what did you do to experience this happiness? And if they are real, they will tell you because someone told them. If they're not real, they're going to push you off. They're going to tell you, I'm just happy. Or they're going to tell you exterior things. They're going to tell you an answer that does not sit right with your soul because the type of happiness I'm talking about is at a soul level. And it's possible. And we are here and we're here to do the work. So this content isn't for everybody. This content isn't for entertainment, even though I try to and I do entertain. Take try out of it. I do entertain. Welcome to the live. Welcome to the live. But this type of content is content that's going to make you stop and think and figure your life out. And sometimes once you stop and think and figure your life out, you realize that your life is fucked. And in order to unfuck yourself, you have to release everything that you've known to be real about yourself. And who's really ready for that? I was talking to my husband yesterday. I've let enough time pass that those who are going to be here are here. I was talking to my husband yesterday. And for the first time, maybe in our relationship, we are both talking divorce. In the past, it has been me, where I'm threatening divorce. I'm not talking divorce, I'm just threatening divorce. Everybody knows that I've never had any intentions of ever leaving my husband. Welcome to the live. But yesterday, me and my husband were having a conversation, and he actually was talking about divorce. I was like, well, I appreciate that we can have this conversation and it's not any type of energy flowing between us. It's not anybody being upset. It's none of those things. It's just you and I having a regular conversation. And I was like, I know that you No, I'm going to back that up. And he was just like, I just don't know who you are. And we're here again. Those of you who are in the audience and you know our story, you understand that a couple months back, he was saying he didn't know how to talk to me. You know, he doesn't know how to communicate. He doesn't know me anymore. I'm a completely different person. But we somehow got over that hump and we found a communication space. And now, very rapidly, remember, I'm evolving rapidly. I've had several evolutions on camera. You know, I'm constantly ascending and evolving and changing at a faster rate than I don't know what's possible. I just know what I'm doing. But definitely at a faster rate than he's used to. Because I am intentionally evolving and changing, which means I am consciously and aware of every single thing I do. And I am doing every single thing I do intentionally. So yes, the girl he knew yesterday may not be the same girl who manifests tomorrow. Today, I think I skipped a day. But anyway, he won't know her. I don't know her. But I know that she's progressive, and I know that she's handling her business, and I know that she is a boss-ass muff. So I'm not going back to who you enjoyed. I'm not going back to her. And he was like, I know, I'm not happy. And I was just like, damn, I thought the changes that I was making should make you happy. I don't talk to you stupid no more. You know, I care what you think. I ask you, you know, what are your thoughts and ideas? I yield to you, so no matter what, you get the final say. You know, I'm doing all these different things, and if you appreciate the live, please double tap the screen and share the live so the audience can grow and this information can get out there. I said, I've made all of these changes for you. Why don't you this is what I'm thinking. I didn't say this to him. Why isn't this yielding happiness for you? And he's like, I don't even know how to talk to you anymore. And I was like, well, we're here again. And we're here again. And I was just like, you know, you deserve happiness. Because I'm not going to stop changing. That's one thing that I know will not change. Now that I know that I can change at the rate that I'm changing, and every change is for the better, and I'm loving myself more and more each day, I'm not going back. So you have to determine if you want to be with me. It's not, do I want to be with you at this point? It's, do you want to be with me? Do you deserve to be happy, or do you deserve to be unhappy? Because forever with me, as it stands, because of my constant evolution, it's going to be some unhappiness. And do you deserve that? Hey, Brittany, welcome. We talking divorce, sis. We talking divorce. And so I told him, I was just like, you know, you deserve happiness. So you have to decide. Been down real quick. Sorry for the delay, girl. It's all right. I'm here. Sis is here. You know, it's just like, and then he was like, well, you too. I was like, how so? You know, I'm happy. He was like, well, there's some things that you're dealing with that you don't necessarily, oh, no problem. There's some things that you're not necessarily happy with. I was like, well, you're right. I deserve a spouse that is okay with who I am. I deserve a spouse who's okay with who I'm becoming. Yes, you fell in love with one version of me. And not maybe, I don't know about other people, but I know that my change and evolution has been very extreme. I have, in a matter of months, became a completely different person. And I know that. You know how we are unaware of our actions, how we speak, how we move. We're unaware of how we move, but we know how everybody else is moving. The beautiful thing about the people we surround ourselves with, especially our children, because we pour into them. The beautiful thing about the people we surround ourselves with is they are reflections and mirrors back to us. Especially our children, because we poured into them. So even if we can't see our flaws, when our spouses communicate back to us, we think it's complaining. They're really just observations coming across as complaints, but they're observations. Those are growth points if we choose to receive them. But our children reflect back to us. That's why I say, well, that's not why I have historically said it, but this is why I reiterate, our children are our teachers as well. We're supposed to transfer prior knowledge to them, and they're going to transfer future or whatever knowledge to us, because they have to teach us how to live through their lenses, because they are the youth in this timeline. We keep trying to make our present day children live accordance to 1990, early 2000s, 1980 child rearing expectations. And our kids keep trying to say, yo, you can't raise me like you were raised. And we keep saying, I'm going to raise you how I was raised, even though I don't like how I was raised. It was a simpler time. We can raise them the way that we were raised, in the respect that we are transferring our knowledge down to them, not the methodology. The methodology is passed from generation to generation, and that is not what we need to be transferring. All the knowledge and information that we received came coupled with trauma. Can we love ourselves enough? Can we love our legacy enough? Can we love our next generation enough to transfer that knowledge, but not the trauma? Can we elevate ourselves enough to transfer the knowledge and not the trauma? Thank you for the love. Thank you for the double taps. Thank you for the shares. Because if we can do that, we can win. And then the second step is to realize that the awareness that we presently have is not the height of awareness. It can never be the height of awareness. Thank you so much, sis. It can never be the height of awareness. Because if we believe that we've reached our height of awareness, the moment you believe that you reached your height of awareness is you stop growing. What on this earth that's worth anything has ever stopped growing? Why you? Are you a inanimate object? Are you AI? Ice cream's so good. Like, what are you? So if everything that is living on this earth continues to grow, continues to evolve, we look at these trees and we're like, it's a tree. But in order for this tree to survive hundreds of years, this tree has had to evolve and adapt. What does the tree know that we don't as human beings? But I want to specify Black people, because we are of the earth. We were her first products and productions. What does that tree know that we don't? How does a tree have the adaptability that we as Black humans don't? That we are insisting we have reached our pinnacle and we will not accept anything that contradicts that. You answer that question and I'll shut up. But until you can tell me where your perfection lies, and I am perfect, but in my perfection, I understand that I am ever evolving. Boom, I answered the question, so I'll leave my ass alone. You can't steal my answer. When you can answer me how you've reached your point of evolution, and you are not constantly changing, and you are not constantly checking yourself and letting yourself know you can be a better version of you, I don't care. Whatever it is that you identified or your children identified or your spouse identified as a form of a complaint, take the complaint energy off of it. They are giving you feedback. You are getting first-hand feedback from someone who deals with your ass day to day, 24 hours in some cases. They are giving you feedback and you're receiving it as a complaint. You're rejecting it and you are refusing to grow. That shit don't make sense. The tree know how to do it. I just want to know what your limitations are. Check that and get back to me. Our book club started on the 15th. This is our first live after the 15th, but it's only a day in. So our actual first book club meeting will be on YouTube Wednesday, 4:30, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. Get into the book. Join at any time. What I'm sitting here talking about, I'm teaching firsthand. Yes, Brittany, if you can't make the YouTube, we do it again on Saturday, same time, on TikTok. So it's either YouTube or TikTok. I'm trying to move my audience to YouTube. Hey, Big Rob. I'm trying to move my audience to YouTube because YouTube gonna treat me sweeter than they treat me over here on the talk. Well, shoot, I'm gonna keep it G. As long as I can cast my net, that's how wide I'm casting it, because this message needs to get out there. I appreciate you, Big Rob. You gonna pop in. That's what pop in gonna do. Thank you, Big Rob. I appreciate you, big bro. How you doing? How you doing? Y'all know that white on my shirt? White state? All right, so, yeah, I told my husband, I was just like, you deserve to be happy. If you can't be happy with me, I just ask you and I offer you the same respect, because my husband says things to me that he should not be saying to me. We were having a conversation yesterday about having a little, tuck away money. I was just like, look, if I were going to leave you, I would have a conversation with you before I just up and left you. You've done nothing to me. If my marriage dissolves, it's because we have truly grown apart. And one of us is unwilling to catch up to the other one. But I also identify this as my husband's about to glitch out. So y'all remember those videos I filmed back then where I was talking about I've been arguing with everybody. I've been arguing. I noticed that I'm running into communication blocks with Bailey too, where we're relearning how to communicate because we both experienced an ascension. So the way that we talked to each other before, but this time we're not bumping up against each other. The first time, there's videos where we're just like, I didn't mean that. And I'm like, oh, I didn't mean that. Yes, you're unnecessary. So there's videos where we're trying to communicate with each other and we're bumping up against each other. And then we find our flow. We recognize it this time, so we're not bumping up against each other. We're just like, you had an ascension, didn't you? Yeah, you had an ascension. Yeah, So we know we need to relearn how to talk to each other. I had an ascension, and it's so cool. Me and my daughters all had an ascension at the same time, because Angel came home a couple weeks ago and was like, man, I just started crying in class. And I'm talking to her about it. I'm not thinking nothing about it. I'm like, okay, because she's crying because I'm thinking because she's overwhelmed. There's a lot going on. But individually, by itself, yes, she's overwhelmed. A couple days ago, Bailey comes to me and she's like, man, I was at work and I just started crying. I was like, you were crying at your register? She was like, yeah. I was like, that's crazy. And then again, I trump it up as she's overwhelmed. I get it. There's a lot going on. When your family is going through stuff, you can choose to either shelter your children from it, or you can let your children know what's going on. Most of us know how to shelter our children from it by just saying no. Because how can you give them information and still shelter them? So you have to be ambiguous, so you just say no. And so now your child is not understanding, I can experience such and such, or this is happening because of such and such, simply because my parents are denying me. So now they're left to create their own narrative. And what I've been receiving lately is anchor points. Information must come with an anchor point. Which means, and go check out my gossip videos to get a more in-depth explanation, but what I'm saying is, in order for it to matter to me, you have to make it matter to me. In order for it to matter to me, I have to make it matter to me. Which means you have to give me enough information so that I can process it and make it make sense to me. And the best example that I can give you is my husband likes to watch the news, CNN. Nigga fall asleep with it in his ear. It's crazy. He likes to watch sports, watches ESPN all day. I think it's the dumbest shit in the world. But now that I'm aware, I'm not going to forget the ascension. Hold on. Never mind. Somebody type ascension in the chat box, please, so I don't forget, because I really want to get back to that point. But I wanted to make this point so you become aware of how to become interested in what your spouse is talking about. Because we've coupled with people that we don't have too much in common with. So if we want to have anything to talk about, we got to start figuring out what they're interested in and how to make it matter to us. So politics and sports. Oh, and Marvel movies. You can watch the same goddamn Marvel movies over and over again. If I see Ant-Man one more time, I don't know what to say. And make sure you're sharing the live, guys. Make sure you're double tapping if you appreciate what I'm saying. If I'm helping you grow, I'm helping you solve some things and figure it out, I can help somebody else. Please share the live and double tap that screen. So I came to realize the things that he's interested in, I have to find a way to appreciate them so that I can talk to him. And I'm not sitting there rolling my eyes. Y'all know the body language. I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to give you 10 minutes of my time and then, stupid. That's why our spouses don't like us, because we make them feel like they're stupid. And so, anyway, the way that I made it make sense that my husband likes these things is one day we're laying in the bed and I'm just like, did you ever want to be a superhero? He was like, yeah. No, he was like, nah. And then he stopped and he thought about it, because I am getting him to the point where he doesn't just give me a quick shut it down response. He actually processes and thinks about stuff. And so he was like, you know what? Yeah, I would like to be a superhero. I was like, okay, boom, that makes sense, because superhero, you like Marvel movies, you know, you watch sports, which are superhumans, and you like the news, which is, you know, tragedy. So I can see how all of these things, and this is me making connections to make my husband's interest interesting to me. So I look at all those things and I'm just like, okay, boom. So he's actually living a childhood fantasy by watching all these things and surrounding himself with something that makes him feel good. Because if you think about Saturday morning cartoons, what was it? It was Wolverine and the crew, or it was, you know, Transformers and Bogobots, and, you know, they were saving the day. Do we ever outgrow wanting to see that? No, it just turned into the Marvel movies. The little kids who used to watch Wolverine as a cartoon can now watch Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. Well, how do you live that in your real life? You got the ones that become the police officers. You got the ones that become the. And then sometimes they just watch CNN sports all day and Marvel movies. So now I have made my husband's interests interesting to me. And now I can psychoanalyze him in my head, which is what's interesting to me, while he talks about whatever the hell he's talking about. And I'm sitting there just making connections and making a whole little movie scene in my head, because I'm just like, yeah, because if you were in this scene, how would you do? So is it imperative that we make our children's interests our interests? It's imperative that we make our spouse's interests our interests. It is imperative that we receive an anchor point, i.e. enough information, so that we can make it our interest. And that doesn't mean spilling all your business, but if you surround yourself with the right people, you know that you are not telling your business to tell your business. You are telling your business to heal yourself, and you're telling your business because whoever you are inspired to speak to, you have a message to deliver. And if you are sitting on this live right now, I am delivering you a message. Please don't take anything ever at face value that comes out of my mouth. Yes, I'm talking about me, but I'm talking to you. And I care what you have to say, Brittany, but I'm flowing real quick, so let me pause because I want to get back to Ascension. So let me get to you, sis. I cannot read this over my goddamn white sweatshirt. Hold on. Oh, shoot, I done did a whole bunch of stuff. Lord. Y'all know myself. I need to stop saying that. Hold on. Let me try to. Okay, boom. Got her. Move her there. I'm trying to get my comments bigger. Okay, I'll see you. Okay, that's Big Rob. If you don't mind me asking because I care about you, are you okay, little sister? Yes, you're gone, Big Rob, but I'm good. Shoot. Life is lifing. All I can say is life is lifing, and on a scale 1 to 10, I'm a 7. Present moment, I'm a 10. Present moment, I'm a 10. Today, this whole week, I just been hibernating. It's weird. It's really weird. But I allow the energy to process. I allow me to be me. And if I don't feel like doing, I do. And if I don't, I don't. But also, it came to me, the reason why I can't keep a schedule is because I was a child who the only scheduled thing that I did in my life was go to school. I bet these overbooked kids know how to keep a schedule. And I bet you they know how to accomplish a goal. We think people are goal-oriented. No, they were just programmed to keep a fucking schedule. And if you show up every day, you will get results. Y'all see them cuts in my stomach? Yeah, did you see my video I just posted where I showed the cuts in my stomach? Yes. You show up every day, you get results. And those kids who are raised with schedules understand, I show up every day. We are fucking ourselves because we don't know how to show up every day. We can't even show up every day for ourselves. Something to think about. Him via text. Hold up. Okay, him via text that I'm interested in. I have had to watch so many movies I could care less about. I'm saying we have to figure out. But he lights up when I'm interested in his movies. And our kids, you know, it starts with our kids. It starts with our children. We have to show our children that we're interested in the things that they're in. We can't leave our children feeling that the only time I can connect with my guardian is when I'm talking about things they're interested in. I want to talk about working out. I want to talk about how I want to be like you. Now you're interested. I want to talk about video games. I want to talk about Roblox or whatever the hell it is. You're me and you're doing that to me. We can't do that to our children because we're teaching them that the only way that they can get attention is pretending to like something that they really don't. We have to think of the depths of the lessons that we're teaching, especially in our silence. But the depths of the lessons that we're teaching is your interests don't matter. And to attach to people that only show them interest when you show them interest. You know what I'm saying? And that's in the negative way. If we don't perk up until our children are talking to us about something we are interested in, we are teaching our children to attract to people who are only interested in them when they are interested in them, when they should be receiving it as well. But we don't give it, so they don't know to receive it. You were the first person to teach your children what's possible. And if you set the bar so low, anyone can swoop in right after you, because remember, our children leave us and go cleave into their spouse. They leave us with the lowest expectations possible. And we only operate in our awareness, most of us, so it's no fault to us. But now we know that anyone can come in and just a hairline above us and impress them. Got their mind. They gone. And you had 18 years to connect. I need my spouse to get interested in the things I really like, just don't know how to get him interested. Honestly, I don't know either. I know it's a necessity. I got an answer for everything, but I believe that I'm living that right now. I had a really great conversation with my son. And the breath wasn't because I'm denying any painful energy related to it. It's just inauthentic. But I know we must fake it until we make it. And Someone really brought it to my attention. I've been living it every day since it's been brought to my attention. Why do I refer to my stepchildren as stepchildren? If I'm pushing for unification, at what point will I update my language? So I think I need to update my language. So that was me. Okay, Lonnie, you're about to do something that is not authentic, but in order to make it authentic, you must start in an inauthentic space. The problem is when someone's trying to tell you to change and to evolve for them. Look, if you couple with somebody that you are not equally yoked with, which is most of us, we gonna have to do some yoking. And we gonna have to do some yielding. And we gonna have to do some figuring it out. So a willingness to figure it out is the place to start. And we're going to have to learn how to move, to speak, to think, to walk, to talk, all of that, the way that our spouse desires. If we want peace, if we want someone to see us and to reflect us back to us, first they're going to reflect the bad things back, which is good because that's work to do. Please reflect all of my flaws back to me because I don't see them, but you do. And someone saw the fact that I said my stepson, his kids, my kids, our kids. And I want to stop that. So I had a really great conversation with my son. And he helped me realize that I really need to work on communication. I'm receiving so many lessons on communication. Remember I told you guys we're doing the 30 days of communication that broke down. It broke down. It didn't last. And then the nigga mocked me and I was like, well shit, you don't get access to that part of me anymore. I'm going to go back to the old me in that respect, and I don't need to share. If you're going to mock me, I don't need to share me with you. I'm a privilege. And for you to take the privilege of communicating with me for granted, I deserve better than that. So I'm going to take that piece of me away. In the past, I would have done that with energy. Like, you nigga, I ain't talking to you then. And now I'm conflicted because I'm just like, I know this isn't the most efficient way to move through a relationship. So how do I remove access to me in a space that I know that he takes advantage? He takes for granted. That's better. He takes for granted. How do I remove myself in that respect and still function and flow in this relationship? So yes, I'm cognizant enough of my survival mode flight tendencies. I'm not, well, fuck you, I'm gonna do me anymore. But now it's just like, you just don't deserve access to me like that. You don't value it. You don't value me, so why am I giving it to you? Frustrating as hell. My go-to is, if you fix you, I'll fix me. Nope, you gotta fix you because they're reflecting you back to you. OMG, that part, yes, that's hard. Yeah. In all honesty, if you are coupled correctly, and again, this is just my perspective, take me with a grain of thought. Yes, that needs to be on a shirt. Where the hell is a pen? Hold on, y'all. Yeah, but take me with a grain of salt. You know, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I'm just talking. I do know what the hell I'm talking about. I'm just downloading. But the humanity in me, the part that must stay humble, and the part of me that realized there's more than one way to skin a cat. My way's not the only way, but if my way prompts you to think, then boom, I did my job. I'm not here to tell any of you to do anything. I'm here to tell you to open your mind to the possibilities. Some of us are visual learners, therefore I post videos that show you the possibilities. Some of us are audio learners, that's why I post the videos so you can hear the possibilities. Some of us learn from reading, that's why I write on the screen and I post the possibilities. We all learn differently, and that was God just telling me to appreciate my audience for its diversity. I'm sitting here like, man, if y'all read these screens, I'm spitting hot fucking fire on these screens. You need to read these videos. You need to listen to them, and then you need to read them, and you're getting 2 lessons in one. But God just delivered to me, sis, you are teaching learners that listen. You are reaching learners that read. And you are reaching learners that do something else. There's a third one. I already said it. I ain't got to remember it. It's recorded. Girl, yeah, thank you for your videos. You are so welcome. Some days are hard. I'm done posting for the day. I was like, man, feeling unappreciated. I know what it is, but still, I tap into my humanity every now and then. But anyway, before my daughters came to me and talked to me about their crying, I was on a live one night and I started crying. I was on the live another day and I started crying. And then I have been doing inner child healing. And so as I have these different memories, I just start crying. And, you know, if I'm running my mouth, it's usually in front of a camera and I allow. And so I'm in the shower and I intentionally holler at little Lonnie and I'm just like, yo, sis, you got to get up off me. And I didn't say it like that. I spoke to her lovingly. But I told her, I was just like, babe, your defense mechanisms that you put in place to survive your life are not the life that we live today. Your tendency to run before you get rejected is no longer a skill that you need to lead your life today. That attitude, that get away from me, and now I'm talking to y'all, this ain't me, this is y'all. That defense, that I always gotta be right. That I gotta be bigger simply because I was born a black woman. I gotta be bigger. Everything that you chose to put on, let's do some inner child healing. If you're in the audience right now, we are healing our inner child. So I want you to call up your inner child. Spirit just told me we about to heal. If you trust me enough to allow me to enter, get in contact with your higher self. Say that I want to heal my inner child. Then I want you to call up your inner child and tell her to have a seat. Or tell him to have a seat. And I want you to look at her. And present yourself before her. And I want you to notice, are you standing before her? Are you sitting before her? Are you sitting next to her? Is her head in your lap? Is there, let me say there, I apologize. How is your inner child in your dynamic presenting to you? That is telling. If you are standing above in an authority way in front of your inner child, that means you look down on yourself. That means you don't respect the work that your inner child has done for you. The goal for us as we work through this inner child work is for you to stand beside, sit beside, align yourself in whatever form or fashion you choose to with your inner child. So notate how you initially presented to your inner child. And now come beside your inner child and embrace them. Whatever your embrace looks like. It doesn't have to be a hug. Embrace them. Stroke their hair. Let them know they are loved. Tell them that you appreciate them. I appreciate you. I appreciate your sacrifice. I apologize for the background noise, but I ain't broke concentration, so you shouldn't. Because with practice and you being a mom, if you are a mother, you should be able to tune out everything. This is patience for your inner child. If you are truly loving and forgiving your inner child, you can appreciate the sound of children in the background. Because this is patience, not only for the background noise, but patience for yourself, because we are healing ourselves. And the only way that we can heal ourselves is if we have patience. That patience comes compassion. That patience comes an inner understanding and knowing that that baby did the best that she could, as he could, as they could. And you thank them. I thank you. I thank you. You stood for me when nobody else would. I thank you. You did whatever was necessary for you to survive what you survived. And I thank you. Squeeze them tight. Allow them to sink into you. Allow them to feel secure in your arms. You maybe have never felt secure in your life. Allow your inner child to feel secure in your arms. Love on them. Yo, I need y'all to stop yelling. Do you understand? Please. Now I want your inner child to look up at you. I want your inner child to look into your eyes and tell you that you love you. I was going to say they love you, but you are you. And you've loved yourself every step of the way. You've loved yourself from the moment that you visualize the age of your inner child. From the age that you visualize your inner child, from that stage into the next, you've loved every version of yourself. Alright, y'all. I had to check my outer children. Catch yous in now. Burn your ashes. Get your sage. I had to check my outer children. Pay attention to the age that you visualize your inner child, because that is where your trauma began. But the beautiful thing about healing your inner child is, a lot of the things that you struggle with today are gonna ease up off you a little bit. And as you realize, as you grow past these stop points in your life, you're gonna realize their association with your inner child. And you're gonna thank her even more. Topic of the day, healing myself. I have a hard time getting up and finding energy. Good evening. Currently 6 months pregnant, and I have a 1-year-old in 11 days. Friend, you are 6 months pregnant and have a 1-year-old. Stay alive. Stay alive. That's all I got for you at that, because the energy pour that it is to create life. You are creating life. and you are sustaining life. And if you're breastfeeding, I don't know if you can while you're pregnant. My knowledge is only that much of my own experience. You are expelling so much energy just trying to stay alive. And that's all I expect of you. You don't have to be superhuman. You just being you is superhuman strength. Don't put that pressure on you. Now, if that is a manifestation of depression, then we have another conversation, because you are in that window. That postpartum window. So we have to understand if this inability to move and handle your business, is this a manifestation of that? It's a mixture. It's a mixture. So now you have to use your spirit of discernment. When am I going to allow this to be, and when am I going to pull myself up out of this? Because what you do not want to allow is for yourself to fall into a space that is detrimental to not only you, but the child you are growing and the child you are rearing. Because everything you transfer, everything you think, everything you feel, I never understood this until now. The flow of energy, everything that you are, you're transferring to that baby within your body and the little baby who's in front of you. Yes, I've been trying to get closer, God, because this feels impossible. I feel like I just can't make full turn. How far? You said 6 months. You have 3 more. That pressure's not on you. Who's in charge? I know that you've already assigned an outcome. We've all assigned an outcome. We all have an expected outcome, and I'm not telling you not to dream. But I have to ask you, who's in charge? Why are you worried about something that is completely out of your control? And society tells you, in order for you to care, you must worry. But what is worry going to get you? You're going to get the same outcome. And we think we're so powerful. If something were to happen, we caused it. Who's in control? Who runs your life? If you run your life, then yeah, you caused it. But if God is in control, God is in control. I can't help it. That's what I'm trying to work on. Stop worrying about things I can't control. Don't try, do. That is the most frustrating thing one of us little spiritual mumble jumble people are going to tell you. But don't try, do. I'm starting my book club. It started on the 15th. But you could join it anytime. I'm going to run the book club monthly. All you got to do is buy the textbook. Just buy the textbook on Amazon. Make sure the seller is Lonnie Taylor. And just like this live today, I will be here next Saturday teaching from this book. Answering your questions based on the healing work that we're doing in this book. This is my healing journey. So what you see me doing here, what you see me doing on my page, familiarize yourself. I believe you're in the community. I believe so. If I'm wrong, I apologize. But familiarize yourself with my page, my content, what I am doing on video. I did this for the first time in 2013. So I don't even know. I just said some fancy stuff. This is my healing journey. So I tell you my history and my baggage, where it comes from. I tell you how I evolved and how I woke up. I tell you the importance of documenting your journey so that you can always look back and see how far you've come. I told the importance of time and how that breaks down and breaking free, checking your ego, how you're addicted to behaviors, introducing the chakras, closing off the heart chakra, holding on to the past. The past is not yours to carry. Everything has a purpose. Understanding the seeds we sow, pulling it all together, understanding divine storms. There's no such thing as a problem. So this is my healing journey. As I came to realizations in my life, I sat down. In 3 to 4 weeks, this poured out of me. It's my healing journey, how I woke up. And the beautiful thing about, I wrote this in 2013, before all of this that we take for granted in the spiritual realm now, spiritual world, all the things that we take for granted, like, yeah, that's elementary. I wrote about this stuff when it wasn't. When black women were looking at me crazy when I was walking around Dallas talking about a vision board workshop, and they're like, a vision board? Get away from me. Get thee behind me, Satan. And so all of the things that I'm talking about in this book didn't even have a name at the time. I'm in one of these groups out here, and it's talking about shadow work, and I've always deemed that as being something demonic on the other side. No, shadow work is just talking to your shadow self. We just did some healing with our inner child. That was shadow work. I don't know how far we got with my goddamn kids in the background. I had to pull up. So I was just like, this is ridiculous. So God was telling me that's not supposed to be happening right now. It will. But it also may have been, can you maintain your concentration even though this is what's happening? There were several tests. That took place there that I got to sit on and process. But I definitely was healing my inner child, and because I was healing my inner child, I brought you guys into the process. But babe, join the book club. Ask your questions, because you don't try. You do. How powerful are you? I know how powerful you are. You are a giver of life. You brought forth life twice in the process. You are still walking this earth regardless of what you've encountered in this lifetime. You are a very powerful being. The fact that you acknowledge that there's places of improvement in how you can be a better person for not only yourself but your two children. You are a very powerful being. Now you just have to learn how to do the work. So that's why I'm here. Because a lot of us are in a place where we know there's a problem. We just don't know how to solve it. And I've been favored to be given some solutions. Solutions enough for us to start thinking and to start moving and to start evolving and doing what's necessary for us to grow. So I talked about the whole relationship. My husband telling me he's not one of my projects. He's not going to let me coach him. I was like, the funny thing is, Dre, that you're looking at this as this is manifesting from the outside in. Then this is manifesting from the inside out. I am evolving myself. I am evolving my family. I am changing the dynamic in my family. We are moving to a place of true love and partnership and moving together as a collective. And I'm teaching outward. You think that I'm picking something up out here and trying to bring it in here. No, it's the opposite. And I don't know if my husband is running into, he thinks that he's some type of social experiment for me. I do try things. We do 30-day trials all the time. Tomorrow we have a family meeting because my son was saying, we need to have what I identified as a family mission statement. And I was like, you're right. Because I'm working to move the family this way, Dre's working to move the family this way, you're working to move the family this way, Bailey's working to move the family this way. We're all working because the kids are all a part of this that's going on. We are all part of the family. We're all part of the decision making. We all are raising these kids. We all are making sure this family is okay. This is no longer, you still staying home, you paying me rent. Nah. This is, yo, I got you. Thank you for allowing me a position to lower my overhead so that I have some money so I can stack it up. Here's something for you. That's completely different than I'm coming home to take advantage of my parent. No, I'm coming home because I can be a help to you, as well as you can be a help to me. It's perfectly fine to move home with your parent if we stopped looking at our child being a problem because they had to come home. They weren't ready to move out in the first place, or something happened since they've been out there and they need some help. They need to attach to you again and relaunch. Why is that a problem? Especially when you raised them. You raised an ill-equipped child. You raised a child that left the nest, wasn't ready, and has to come back. Why is that their fault? So we need to stop looking down on our adult children that need to come home. First and foremost, if we're trying to build wealth, we're not kicking our kids out in the first place. And if we can't stand their asses and we can't wait till they turn 18 so you ain't got to deal with them no more, you wasted 18 years of creating a perfectly beautiful human being. You spent 18 years creating a human being that you can't even wait to get up out your house. We need to internalize that, especially if we have littles. We hear enough stories out there of people who are saying, oh, I can't wait for you to get out my motherfucking house. But you created that human. And I know you're just like, we only have control up until a certain point. When I tell you, soon as my daughter gets up and she gets herself and she comes to this room and she downloads with me, my child is 18 years old and I still got her mind. And I didn't start till she was like 14, 15 years old. So for society to lie to you because the standard is that we release our children into society and we let society take over because we tired, that's the situations where you only have your child's mind for a certain amount of time. But if you planted the seeds early on where you were showing your child you were showing your child they value and you're treating them like they matter, they will always come to you because you were the first person to treat them with value and to show them that they mattered. And the only way you will lose your child is if somebody enters the chat that shows your child something more. But you're always being more. So you're always going to be the pinnacle. But that's contradictory to my mama's boy video I'm about to put out. So, take what I say with a grain of thought. But I wanted to backdoor that because I was watching this K-drama. Man, this K-drama got me by the throat, y'all. I'm just like, oh, I never watch TV. But when I do, I turn on my K-dramas and I love them so much. I just be all in them. And it's this time traveling one. I don't remember what it's called. But it's this time traveling K-drama. And I'm just like, can't even figure out who's who because it's the same characters, but they're playing different timelines. And I don't know who's who. And all the names run together to me. I be trying to do all associations to try to remember the names. And then I realized that the one who jumped into this body is gay. So when he told the girl, I'll never like you that way, I thought he was doing it out of respect for his friend, but he's doing it because he don't like girls. I was like, yo, that's crazy. So anyway, K-drama going crazy. Here's what the dude said. Even though they're no longer with us, we'll always remember who they were to us. That was so impactful to me. The guy he had a record store and he has a cafe. And the number 27 was in all of it. He was like, why do you use the number 27? And he was like, because of the 27 Club. So they were talking about people who passed on. Even though they're no longer with us, we'll always remember who they were to us. That was so powerful and profound because something that I haven't talked about in a very long time is even though they're no longer with us, we always remember who they were to us. As we are going through life and we are creating these relationships and we are creating these friendships and we are creating these parenthood-child relationships, we always take tomorrow for granted. We assume we always have a redo. But for many of us, that is not true. So we must discontinue taking any moment for granted. Moments with ourselves, moments with our children, moments with our spouses, moments with our friends, people that we have aligned ourselves with in value. We must stop taking those moments for granted, because in the event of someone passing, we'll always remember who they were to us. So I challenge you, mom. I challenge you, dad. I challenge you, guardian. I challenge you, husband. I challenge you, wife. I challenge you, friend. I challenge you, human. Live your life so that upon your passing, when they remember who you were to them, they have beautiful, fond memories. I sat in my mom's funeral and I mourned the idea of a mother. I did not mourn my mother. Because when I remember who she was to me largely, there was no relationship there. And even though we are in our children's lives on a day-to-day basis, you have to pay attention and see, is there a relationship there? How you doing, Bree? We have to see if there's a relationship there. Because if there's no relationship there, guess what? That's what they're going to remember. They're going to remember what could have been. When I cry about my mother, I cry about what could have been. I missed out on what? Because I spent so many years being angry. And I don't live in regret. Because my anger was justified. My anger was set in the current events. I don't hold grudges. I never have. There's a difference between you did something so egregious that I don't mess with you anymore, and you did something so egregious and I'm giving energy to you. I mourned what I had wanted my mother to be too. Yeah. And I don't want that. I don't want that for any of my relationships. When I leave this setting, it may not even be this earth. When I leave whatever particular setting, I want people to miss the impact that I brought to it. I don't want people to miss what my position represents. You know what I'm saying? I miss what the dictionary says a mother is. That's what I miss. I don't want my kids to miss the textbook definition of what a mother is. I want my children to miss me. I want my friends, when I leave, I don't want them to be able to pivot, same point. I was talking to my husband yesterday and he was like, I believe in you. I was like, no, you're double-minded because you tore me down. The last time you tore me down about this social media stuff. You can't say that you believe in me and then the same breath tell me everybody's trying to do what you're doing. They're not successful, makes you think you're going to be successful. You can't give me a dose of reality and tell me you believe in me. Because belief is believing in the unknown. So we cannot live in reality and in the unknown at the same time. So you cannot be double-minded. I wasn't trying to tear you down. You just didn't know that. But if I'm communicating with you that the words that you said to me were detrimental to my belief in self, then receive it. I don't care what your intentions were. Receive it. The second way he tore me down, which at least then you could turn to the positive. I was like, you don't even understand what I'm out here doing, Dre. I was like, I'm different. He was like, you ain't different than anybody else. There's millions of people out there doing what you're doing. I was like, Dre, you don't even have TikTok to know what I'm out here doing. So how can you tell me millions of people are doing what I'm out here doing? I was like, you just tore me down. You just told me I'm not 1 in a million. I'm a million. You can find 1 in a million. Out of that million, you can find 1. That's not what I meant. What I meant to say is if they could do it, you could do it. I was like, boom, there it goes right there. You self-corrected. I appreciate that. What you failed to do in that self-correction was you failed to acknowledge that you were wrong. I appreciate that he changed the way that he said what he said to me, because there's a million people doing what you're out here doing. And if everyone can do it, you can too, are 2 different things and send 2 totally different messages. So you can't sit here and say that you believe in me and then say something like that to me. So we got to be mindful of the things that come out of our mouths. And I don't remember why I got on that. There was a point there. But anyway, yeah, he said what he said. I was like, you can't believe in me and not believe in me. You can't breathe life in me and take the oxygen from my lungs at the same time. And you need to become aware of that that's what you're doing. So you can't want the best for your relationship and your marriage. You can't want the best for your relationship with your children. You can't want the best for yourself and then entertain thoughts that are contradictory to that. Verbalize things that are contradictory to that. Take actions that are contradictory to that. You're double-minded. The Bible says you cannot be double-minded. The Bible says you cannot serve 2 gods. And no, I'm not a Christian. I just have been exposed to the Bible in my Christian days. You know, I still read the Bible now. I still experience it now because it's an amazing text. You cannot serve 2 gods. You cannot be double-minded, which means are you up or are you not? Because you can't be both. And I teach you that in my book club. Started September 15th. Our first book club meeting is Wednesday on YouTube at 4:30 Pacific Standard Time, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. Our second one, which will also be the first one for the week, will be on TikTok, Saturday, same times. We're going to discuss a chapter a day. I'm going to teach from this book. And then we're going to have open discussions based on your questions in relation to the book. The book is my healing journey, my evolution. This is how I changed my life. This is how I came from telling me I'm stupid, I'm nothing. You're never going to amount to anything, to the person that you see before you. And I'm still healing. I'm still evolving. I can teach you how to recognize your evolutions and your healing journey so that you can intentionally start doing the work. And that's why me and my husband are having these conversations, because he's like, I'm not one of your students. I was like, that's unfortunate. Wouldn't it be awesome if you and I could just sit up here and learn from each other and grow from each other? I could say, hey, you want to try this? And you're like, yeah. And you're happy to do it. Do you see how much further and evolved we can become if we just work together? It's so interesting to know the unification that's possible, but the unification our spouses refuse to allow, or us. We're not allowing unification to take place in our homes. We are the stopgate. Because our spouses are coming to us and saying, hey, I want to try something new. And you're like, you're always trying to try something new. Yes, because I'm always trying to improve and grow. I want to be at the highest possible frequency with you. Why is that a negative? And what my son brought to my attention is, you know, he was like, man, y'all got married. Y'all can't get a divorce now. I was like, hey, this is coming from the little boy who boycotted my wedding. I got you. And so he was like, y'all got to learn how to communicate. The way that you're coming at him is a way that puts him on the defense. And so you got to figure out how to communicate with him. And I was like, you're right. So this is just another lesson in communication, that we are still stuck in trying to figure out how to talk to each other. Do you understand that 99% of your relationships are breaking down because you don't know how to talk to each other? And if you are raising children, teach your children how to talk, how to express themselves, how to assert themselves, how to be able to speak up for themselves properly. That way, when they come into conflict in the world, they don't respond in a tantrum state and they're endangering someone else. To where I have to tell my children, you can reject someone, but you can't reject them too harshly because you don't want them to retaliate. Those adults who do that were children who were never corrected. And we must understand that we are raising the next generation of problems because we're a problem. I posted my Black Women We're Problematic video, and somebody was like, I can't say that Black women are problematic based on this one broad. And I was like, I'm a Black woman. I've been a Black woman all my life, and I've dealt with Black women my entire life. And I will tell you and confirm, outside of this one chick, we are problematic. We got a lot of work to do, and we should love ourselves enough to do it. We should not be so prideful that we will not receive that there's work to be done. And I can only speak for myself because I largely deal with myself. But we as humans have work to do. So my last point, and to continue my last point, was make sure that you are doing the work, that those that you surround yourself with, you are impacting their life day to day. You are impacting them in a positive way. Because tomorrow's not promised. The next second isn't promised. I'm sitting here taking these moments for granted as if I'm going to be here a second from now. I don't know if I will be. I hope that I am. I live in the future. Damn it, I'm here. I'm old and gray in my bed. But the truth and reality is I don't know. We don't know. So we need to make sure that the legacy that we're living out here, we forget that we say we say we are our ancestors' dreams, not acknowledging that we are somebody's ancestors. And what the hell are we doing for them to be proud of? What the hell are we doing to where somebody looks at our family tree and they say, yeah, that's Uncle so-and-so, that's Auntie so-and-so. If they can't look at you with pride, you've got some work to do. Because even though they're no longer with us, we'll always remember who they were to us. All right, y'all. Have a good Saturday.